back to the Retro Wave. I am your host, El Tiburon. And this month, we're talking about our favorite childhood commercials. With me, I got a couple of pals. Here. Returning back from the Dad Level podcast. Vince, what's going on, Vince?
Nothing much, man. Trying to get back into the groove of YouTube and podcasting and making consistent, life, collecting toys and video games.
Yeah, all the geeky stuff we love.
Yeah. I'm a nerd.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
Right, exactly.
And first time on the podcast, I had to talk to what is the board of the right to censor, or what are they called? The PTA or whatever the hell, the board. I was like, can we allow this guy on this podcast? Will he drop too many innuendos, sexual innuendos, inappropriate? And they said it's good. We'll give him a shot here. First time on the podcast, Retro Ryan. What's going on, Right Dog?
I have a bachelor's degree from Howard Stern University of Explicit Content.
Yeah. So this is your first time on the podcast, Ryan, and since this drops on not only on YouTube, I mean, if whoever watches me on YouTube, they know you guys, but this also drops on Spotify, on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, on the audio end. So for those of you that are not familiar with Ryan, why don't you tell them what you do on your channel, Ryan?
So when you go on YouTube, you just type in the search box at Retro Ryan, one word, at Retro Ryan, and you're gonna look for the Slimer logo. And basically, my channel is an archive of 80s, 90s video game and toy commercials, along with a lot of other compilations I've made. I make a series called Chonkers. So if you're a fan of cats, if you're a cat daddy, as they say these days, you'll get a kick out of some funny cat videos that are compiled in a horror movie trailer format. I also have my original music. I'm a singer-songwriter, so all my songs are up there, about 30 studio recordings. And I live stream every Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And I take people's 80s, 90s video game requests, and I play along with it on commercial breaks, 80s, 90s video game and toy commercials in between. So it feels like you're turning on your TV set and you're in a time machine back to 1990, and you're seeing all those cartoons you remember, games you remember, and you're immersed in nostalgia. So I think that about sums it up.
It does. Back when life was easy.
Yeah, when there were problems or drama.
Back when we didn't get those little pieces of paper in the mail, we had to pay. Those things called bills, if you will.
Or
when the worst thing that happened was a Keaton scandal and OJ on the highway.
He even has a damn what the fuck is that sport called? Highlight compilation, which I didn't even know that sport was a thing. Can you explain highlight? What's highlight?
So highlight is a Spanish sport that's very big in Barcelona and is a huge part of tourism in Florida, which is kind of partly why I rep it so hard. But it's also was always my dad's favorite sport. And we're going to have a train come by right now and just make a lot of noise. And
that's funny. But we're live.
No, what I was saying was, my dad's favorite sport. So he actually taught me how to play.
Oh, so you actually played this sport? I thought you were playing the compilation ironically.
That's why I'm so into it. And I incorporated it on the channel. I can play it. And we used to play on a racquetball court, which simulates what a highlight fronton is, where they play it professionally. But yeah, all that footage you saw on my channel was from the many frontons, as they call it, that were very big in Florida in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Actually, the peak of it was actually in an episode of Miami Vice where Croc and Tubbs go to the Fronton in Dania Highlight, and they filmed the episode there about this murder and this highlight player. But anyways, it was one of the main things you would do in Florida back in the day, other than, you know, when Disney World was around, and you'd go bet on highlight. It's a sport you could gamble on. They'd have a little casino in there, but it's known as the fastest sport in the world. The ball gets thrown up to 150 miles an hour. It's like it's dangerous because if you get hit, that's why they're wearing helmets. I mean, you can die if you get hit the wrong way with this at 150 miles an hour. You also may have remembered it from being on Jackass, the Jackass movie, or no, the show. They did an episode where they were throwing, I think, fruit at Johnny Knoxville out of the cestas. So they were hitting him with that instead of the ball, the pelota. So yeah, it's got a lot of rich history in Florida, and that's kind of why I like to show some of those highlight commercials and content, because people are like, what's the deal with this sport? What is highlight?
Is the cesta thing the thing that they have on their arm that looks like a giant Frito
banana?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a basket, looks like a banana, and that's how they get the speed. They throw it like as if they're playing racquetball. So there's a front wall and a side wall. So their goal is they throw it, it hits the front wall, hits the side, and they want the other player to miss it. So they will throw it as fast as they can. It can hit the back wall too, and it's just constant action. And then people got to bet on which team's going to win, which team, you know, because they're trying to make the other team drop the ball. So,
Vince, have you ever bet on a game of highlight?
No, actually, I only remember seeing it from Miami Vice because it wasn't a thing here in Texas at all. You know,
yeah,
we're the three main sports: basketball, baseball, football.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've never bet on any kind of sporting event. I don't think I've bet on anything.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, there's your education, pals, on highlight. But we're here talking about childhood commercials, and the reason I wanted to record this episode was when I think of like summer. This episode's dropping in August, so when I think about like August, I think about going back to school, and you kind of like trying to hang on to those last couple weeks of vacation. And when I think of vacation, I think about, you know, going outside and playing back when kids went outside and played, but also like sitting there watching The Price is Right, watching like freaking, you know, like DuckTales and all these cartoons and seeing the commercials. Back when I don't even think I watch TV anymore outside of like NBA basketball, but watching commercials. And I feel like that's what we're going to do here. We're going to reminisce on some of our favorite commercials. And we can kind of like see our picks and see why they touch, you know, why they touch so close to our heart, right? Because nowadays, you go on YouTube, what do we do right away? We're trying to skip the ad, right?
Well, if you're not part of the have the premium, you know, so you don't have to have those ads. But yeah,
yeah, sure. But nobody wants to watch commercials. Brian, do you want to watch commercials nowadays?
Commercials nowadays are two things: insurance companies and prescription drugs, and they have totally destroyed any kind of intrigue or fun or entertainment value in commercials. So they are basically a frustrating annoyance, where we used to love commercials because there'd be jingles, there'd be animation, there'd be scripts, they'd have sets, they would film them like movies, and now they film them. It feels like you're in a doctor's office watching them. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And they're filled with all the disclaimers. This may have these side effects.
Yeah. Yeah, those are always funny because I'm like, I don't think I want to take a pill that may cause anal bleeding.
Yeah. Your arm may fall off because you're taking like burn medication on your toe.
Yeah, Vince, can you think of a commercial right now, like current commercial that you're like, oh, yeah, this is a good commercial?
I mean, the only ones that are good are going to be the ones on the Super Bowl. And it's usually going to be what they're paid for to be entertaining. And then, of course, you have the movie trailers. That's about it.
Yeah. The last one I saw was when Paul Rudd redid his Super Nintendo commercial, but for the Switch, too.
Oh, I didn't know he did that. Was that this year?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they did, which was brilliant on Nintendo's part that they revived that, and because that was Paul Rudd's. That predates him even being on Clueless, which was his big break movie. But that was a very famous Super Nintendo commercial where he takes, what is it, F-Zero, and slams that in the console, and it's on a huge projector, like at a drive-in theater, and he's playing Super Nintendo. So they reenacted that commercial, but for the Switch too. He even wore like the same outfit and had the same hair again somehow. I don't know if he put on a wig.
Was he wearing
hilarious.
Like a blazer? I kind of vaguely remember he's wearing like a blazer or something.
And he had that crazy long hair that, I think he must have worn a wig, but it looked awesome.
That's cool. The last commercial I remember, like a modern one, is like when Mr. Peanut died. Like, doesn't he die in one of these last years? One of the Super Bowl commercials.
It's hard to me to think of any of that stuff, considering the fact I don't really watch normal TV anymore. It's movies, it's TV shows that are on some streaming service, and most of those I can like skip the ads on, unless I'm like it's a video game I'm looking for or a movie. Those are the only two that I everything else. I
got
in and out.
Two more. So one was when Culkin redid the Home Alone scene.
Oh yeah.
Was that for like a cell phone company?
I think it was for like, wasn't it for an Alexa or a Google Dot? One of those things.
It was Alexa, I think it was.
Yeah.
But they did like a similar set, like using Home Alone and reenacting some of that stuff, which was cool. And then they might have done one with like E.T. and one with Gremlins too. Like in the last couple of years, I know they did something like that.
Well, there was the one that Ferris Bueller did. I mean, Fancy Project reprising his role in a commercial. I don't remember what it was for, but I just remember that whole thing.
Yeah. You know which one? The last one I loved that I saw. It was the freaking Circuit City one that had like Hulk Hogan, Jason Voorhees, like Sergeant Slaughter, and all. Alf, I think, was in there. Chucky coming in through the doors. That's the last one, but it was because of the nostalgia, because they had all the people I loved growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now Circuit City's dead. R.I.P. Circuit City. All right, well, we're gonna go to our top 5 commercials, but first we gotta pay the sponsor. So I'm actually gonna play a commercial that didn't make either of our top 5s, but it was actually a Rye Dog honorable mention. So we're gonna check out one that didn't crack. I think it was actually in your top 5, and then you switched it up at the end. So let's check out this this commercial from the 90s here.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos fresh and fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life. Mentos, the fresh maker.
There you go. That was in your top 5, Ryan. And then I think the last couple of days, and you're like, hey, switch it up, take that one out.
When 80% of my channel is commercials, you know how hard this was to pick 5?
Yeah.
So I swapped some in and out, but how can you not love, you hear that Mentos song, that's stuck in your head all day. Just forget about it. I mean, and then you think about the Foo Fighters video where they parodied it.
Oh, yeah.
Big Me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, what a great song.
That's pretty. That when I watched it, when you sent me the list, I was like, damn. I used to love these commercials. And it was always funny because it was like, was it like someone getting a parking ticket and somehow getting out of it? And he just shows the Mentos and it's all good. It's all right. If only life were that easy.
Gets you out of any predicament of Mentos.
If only Cosby or Puff Daddy could get out with a packet of Mentos. All right.
Would it be a pudding pop for him? At least for Cosby.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Well, this is what we did. We all picked our 5 favorite childhood commercials. We're going from number 5 to number 1. Since Retro Ryan is the first timer here, we're gonna go with his first. So let's check out Retro Ryan's number 5 favorite childhood commercial.
Step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
America! Demand your MTV! I want my MTV!
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV! Call your cable company and say, I want my MTV!
Turn it on, leave it on. America, see the music you want to see.
I want my MTV. All right.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
24 hours a day on cable TV.
I want my MTV, MTV, MTV!
Yeah, too much is never enough.
All right, Ryan, tell us about this number 5 pick. I want my MTV commercial.
Man, MTV was just such a staple. You could put that on, let the videos play, never know what you're going to see. You know, and to me, the golden years were before it turned into like a reality TV crap show of just, you know, as soon as Real World came out, it was kind of the beginning of the end for me, because even though it still was kind of relevant for maybe another 5 years, TRL had some of its moments, but early MTV, 80s, 90s, was just, you could just count on great music. You count on Headbangers Ball. They brought us tons of cartoons on liquid television that we had never seen before, the Max, and just everything, even in that commercial aesthetically, the neons, the colors. I had the parody, the MTV logo even on mine with the RRTV for Retro Ryan Television, the colors, and just being able to see your favorite artists come in for interviews. It was a game changer. And I was constantly just jumping between MTV and Nickelodeon. Like you'd be jumping from, WWE to Nitro or something, you know what I'm saying? Like you would just jump back and forth between the Raw era and, wrestling, the WWE, back and forth. That's what I was like, jumping back and forth, MTV and Nickelodeon constantly, and both delivered.
Yeah, what do you think of this commercial, Vince? Get any
Man, come on, I love
hit
it.
a nostalgia there?
I mean, well, first off, it had Sting in it, and the Police, which is Sting's one of my favorite artists, and then you got Billy Idol, of course, David Bowie. I mean, Cyndi Lauper. That's just like pure nostalgia for our generation growing up, especially if you grew kind of like we're born in the '80s and like got to experience that before we went into the '90s. This is pure gold. And it's cool because like we were the MTV generation as much as like Nickelodeon, like Ryan said, and it was advertisement to the max, right? It was, you'd be sitting there watching and be like them going, advertisement for this show. They have the MTV news stuff coming on. So it just brings back a lot of nostalgia for me, at least, for all that stuff. And I remember just having nights where I'd be sitting in my room playing video games and have MTV on in the background just to hear music playing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that's because we're all 80s kids, right? I think Ryan, you're mid 80s. I'm early 80s.
I was born in 84.
Yeah.
And the other thing I can't help but think of, like when I think of MTV, is just how stacked and amazing the music awards were. It would just be the craziest lineups you've ever heard of, from like Michael Jackson to Madonna to every rock band you've ever heard of. To, in the grunge era of the 90s, you'd have like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots. There's every band you'd want to see. Yeah. And it was just stacked. I mean, you didn't see any bad artists during the award show, whether it was the music awards or movie awards. So I just feel like, I'd say from like 84 to like 94, just MTV could do no wrong for like 10 years at least.
Do they still show music videos, or is it just now reality TV?
It's mainly
they have MTV Classic.
Yeah.
It's called MTV Classic, and they just play them all day, like a rock block or a rap block, or, but it's in like standard definition, and it's on like a really weird channel. I'll put it on sometimes, but it looks so blurry because it's like, when you're used to everything being HD, and then it's just SD, and you switch to that channel, and you're like, oof.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool too because it started the year I was born. Literally a month and 16 days before
Are you 82 or 81?
81.
81. Okay, so yeah, I'm 82. Yeah, I think you're right. I remember as a kid, MTV. I have an older sister, 4 years older, so MTV was always on because she was a teen, so she'd be watching Milli Vanilli, and she was into Madonna, and my mom loved Michael Jackson. Even though she doesn't speak and very very little English, she loved Michael Jackson. She loved listening to Michael Jackson. It was always on.
We can't underestimate too how much that sold the record, the music video, and the money they put into the music video, the creativity the directors put into it. That's what made it good. It wasn't just the song to any video. It was just a movie that they would make for every one of these, and the sets and it was just phenomenal music videos during that era that, still to this day are kind of mind blowing to watch compared to how cookie cutter even videos seem to be these days. I mean, there's still good ones here and there, but they were really very abstract is what I loved about them, and they use lots of claymation or animation or just crazy effects that we had never seen. So they broke a lot of new ground on there.
Yeah, remember there was that song, Video Killed the Radio Star?
Radio Star, which was the first song they played.
That they were referring to, now video music is now the new thing, radio's out. What is it now? What is it now? Because now it ain't music videos,
YouTube,
right?
YouTube breaks the songs now.
Yeah.
Is it still the videos, or is it now Spotify, streaming apps?
I mean, it's almost the most digital now, right? I mean, we still have radio. It's still survived.
Yeah.
But I mean, MTV brought in that whole music video thing. But we're now at this point where MTV itself, the channel, doesn't produce any music. It's all shows. They have an alternate channel that does music, like Ryan says. And so it's so I guess radio did outlive MTV.
Yeah.
My thought process of it.
But how do kids nowadays discover music? How do they discover a new artist? Is it just YouTube now? TikTok?
YouTube. TikTok. Yeah, I would say that. Shorts. I mean, how many times, you think about it, you're watching a short on any platform, YouTube or TikTok, even Facebook. There's a music that's playing in the background. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me go check out what that is, because you may have not heard it.
Yeah.
And instead of getting fighting MTV to play it, they're uploading it on YouTube and hoping it goes viral.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Crazy times we're in.
Weird wild stuff.
Wild stuff. That's right. All right, let's check out Vince's number 5 pick here.
Johnson, I want to have report on my desk now. Where are you, Johnson? Your number one job description is to keep Duncan Johnson. It's time for you to produce. I'm tired of your excuses. That report was due on my desk at 9 o'clock this morning. 9 o'clock this morning.
Introducing Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance, only on Xbox. The original smash hit, plus loads of extra gameplay, like over 500 new missions, exciting new storylines, and all new playable characters. Not to mention some of the meanest bosses you'll ever encounter. Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance, only on Xbox. Rated M for mature from Konami.
What the?
Vince has a Metal Gear Solid 2 commercial. It's for the audio listeners, it's in an office space, right? And the guy's like Solid Snake hiding in boxes and thinking he's Solid Snake.
So if you were a fan of The Matrix, I mean, there's that scene where Neo's at his desk. He gets that phone delivered to him, and he's like, "You need to get out of there, Neo. Look up." And then you see the agents in there, and he's basically doing the same thing that this guy's doing in there, trying to sneak around to get away to not get caught.
Yeah.
Man, I love the Metal Gear series. If you guys don't know, And the fact that like I was so hyped for this game, and it just resonated with me, because like now it even resonates with me more now, being someone who works in an office. And it's like I think I've done similar things in a way at some of my offices.
You've hid in a box while at work?
Yeah, I think I have. I've hidden around corners, I've had to crawl into spaces to get to equipment that I need to fix or whatever. But no, this was kind of cool. And it was the first time, I believe, if I remember correctly, Metal Gear came out to the Xbox. It was like they released this with all this extra footage and extra content. And it was such a fun time to get to replay the Metal Gear games with all this extra stuff. But it resonates with me even more now than it did back then, but I still loved it. Because I think of like my dad working in an office, being an IT guy and running around, because you had these cubicles and stuff, and usually we'd be up there and it would be like no one in the office, he's working on some project, ghosting some machines. And I'm a gamer, right? And I love Metal Gear, so this is right up my alley.
Yeah, I had never seen that one. Had you seen this one, Ryan? The Metal Gear 2 commercial?
No, but I'm glad you did original Xbox, because that's what brought me back. I played some N64, but I was kind of detached for that era a little bit and just focused on playing music in bands in high school and then starting college. But in college, when I got my friend, one of my friends was my friend Chris Tatro, who's also a musician, was like, dude, have you played Halo yet? And I was like, he's like, you can live out like a sci-fi movie in that. And I'm like, okay, I'm sold. And then I remember just picking one up, what do they call like the used ones at like a refurbished one? Did they call it that at GameStop? And then picking up Halo, and oh my God, did it blow my mind. I was back. It's like if I had taken a year or two break from gaming, it's like that brought me back. But then funny enough, like another game I got was like the Sonic collection, because I just wanted to play something old too on it, so I'm like playing Halo and Sonic, and I think there was a Street Fighter collection too that I got in there. So it's like even getting into modern gaming with Halo, then I'm going right back to playing something old. But yeah, I was really excited to get that console. And then from right then after that, went right to the 360 and trying to do what I had to do to wait in Walmart line to get that. So
yeah, I've actually, I played one Metal Gear, I think I told you, Vince, the really short one that was like on the PS3, Xbox One, Ground Zero.
Oh, Ground Zeroes, yeah.
That's the only one I've ever played. So I missed out on all the Metal Gear games, but I did buy the HD collection on the Vita, the one that I think it has 1 and 2, because I'm like, I can play it on the go. So
or 2 and 3. Sorry, 2 and 3.
Oh, it's 2 and 3. Oh, it doesn't have part 1. Okay, so I'll have to play probably 1 another way, right?
Well, if you get the new, what is it, the collection, the Metal Gear collection that just came out, you get like 1, 2, 3, and you get Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. So you get the first 5 games in a collected bundle.
Oh, okay. I gotta play those games. I missed out on those. I don't know why.
Well, if you play it, man, I'll be there to help you guide you through it.
Okay, cool. You know who is really into it? Billy. Billy used to be really into the PS1 Metal Gears, and he would say Snake and stuff like that. But I never knew what the hell he was talking about. He used to love him. But yeah, so
we need to do a Metal Gear Solid podcast. We can do that. I'll invite you.
Yeah, he loved the PS1 Metal Gear. But cool pick. I'll have to play those games. I'm gonna go to my number 5. I want to see your guys' reaction to this one, because it's definitely not like the other 2 you guys picked. Check this one out here.
Mm-hmm. Big loader, put it together and what do you get? The big loader construction set. Load it up, shrug along, dump it out. Big loader, big loader works all day long. So I'll sing this big song. Load it up, shrug along, dump it out. Big loader, load it up, shrug along, dump it out. Big loader, just told me to think of it.
So at number 5, I've got this damn commercial, Big Loader by Tommy. I must have been like 13, 14 years old when this commercial came out. Never cared to play with trucks. I don't even know what the hell the Tommy trucks are. But you guys brought up earlier the jingles. This song, this stupid jingle would play in my head. I'd be in middle school going, big, big loader. Like singing it in my head. It was a damn jingle. I don't know why this jingle was just like, it was like an earworm. It was just stuck in my head. So, and even like in the last couple of years, I was like, what was that? What was that commercial? What was it called? And it took me like, I don't know how, it took me a while to find the commercial and I found it. I was like, oh, this commercial used to be in my head all the time. Just like randomly, right? You walking from home from school, big, big loader in my head. I don't know if you guys have ever. Yeah.
The standout for me is like, was that a Muppet in it?
Yeah, it had like a construction Muppet. Do you guys remember this commercial? Have you guys
do remember it. I do remember it.
I've never seen it. And it looked like he's dumping like Whoppers candy into the thing. I don't know what that was, but
yeah. So you remember this one, Vince? You said you remember this one?
Yeah, I do. Because I remember I was still watching Saturday morning cartoons, man. Like so it was one of the ones I remember coming on.
Yeah.
So, it's like what it said 94.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would have been 13.
Yeah. Like I wasn't playing with trucks. But it was the jingle. Like you guys brought up the jingles. It was a lot of these commercials. It was just a stupid jingle would be stuck in your head.
Yeah.
I mean, I was playing with trucks. I had Transformer trucks, like Optimus Prime.
I mean, I was still playing with toys, but I was playing with like the Hasbro, WWF, TMNT. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why I don't know how you guys are with like car stuff. But I don't know. I never cared about cars. Like I never cared about Hot Wheels. Or anything like that.
The cars I cared about were the Tyco RC cars.
Oh, the remote control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Hot Wheels. I mean, but that was like when I was younger. I mean, when I moved into Transformers and stuff, it was like, okay, I just wanted my car to transform.
Yeah, but that's different. That's like a... Yeah, that's like different than a car.
The coolest Hot Wheels were the ones when it would be like a track and they would have water on the bottom and the color changing ones. I thought those are the coolest.
Those are awesome.
Damn, I had forgotten about those. Yeah, the ones that would just get
ones.
The ones that would launch, you could launch them on the track, right?
Yeah, and they'd get wet and then they would change like translucent colors, kind of like neon color, and like just look like a different car. It was a very cool effect. I'm not even sure how they did it, but it must be like related to like heat and like the water makes it I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah, I was just never a car guy, I guess.
Well, they had the crash ones, right? That you would have the doors that would, if they got hit on the side, they'd flip. It was kind of like the Battle Damage He-Man, but it was for the Hot Wheels.
Damn, I don't remember those.
And then I remember, like, when I was a kid, like, right out in front of our apartment, there would be this dirt mound with rocks and stuff. I'd just sit there and build, like, a little bit of city out of all the stuff, and then, like, have my Hot Wheels and my Tonka trucks to come in. But that, that was a long time ago.
So much of the ones that didn't even appeal to me would be stuck in my head, like, skip it. Yeah. But the very best thing of all.
Did you ever own a Skip It?
No, I never had to skip it. Another one, one I had, but there was always get stuck in our heads was Go For It, Connect 4.
Yeah.
The board games that get stuck in our heads. A big one was what's the one where it's like colored circles and you're putting your hand down in weird positions and you're trying not to fall over?
The one that people play at fucking swinger parties.
Twister, right? Swinging parties.
What's it called?
Instead of Twister, it's Stripper. No.
Yeah, Twister.
What's it like?
Twister.
Twister, the hot spot. So it's like a lot of those would just be stuck in your head whether you ended up buying them or not. They just be,
Yeah.
Balzac. That one, that commercial.
Balzac? What was it called?
It's called Balzac. This dude in this yellow giant ball. And
we're live, pal.
Mini Balzac. Look it up. I'm telling you.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, look it up.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that was just strictly a pick because it was an earworm for like a summer, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out Ryan's number 4 pick here.
Time has
Ryan at number 4 has Snick, the Snick commercial. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, just like I was saying, I would just jump between MTV and Nickelodeon, just like you were probably jumping from WWF to WCW, and it's like Snick was the jam. I mean, look at all the great shows we got to see. Ren and Stimpy, Clarissa Explains It All. I always loved Are You Afraid of the Dark? Alex Mack. I could go on for days on this, but like, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, so many iconic shows that were just tied right into our childhood and still are even relevant to this day, that people still remember them or they still live on and relaunches or they revive them but yeah, look at that orange couch was even iconic. All that was like our childhood SNL for kids. They had some brilliant skits on there for what it was, and it's just it felt like it's like, okay, it's programming for kids our age, but it was still edgy enough, right, to be cool, because we never wanted to do things that our parents completely signed off on. So it's like they would sell kind of gross out kind of toys and just have fun shows. And just look what they did in Nickelodeon Studios. You'd play on a set of like Double Dare. You go and hit Legends of the Hidden Temple. It's like the fantasy of every kid to be on some of those game shows. I mean, it was just a wonder for us to watch. And it's the world we wanted to kind of inhabit in our teens and, before our teens, that special era. When I say after, maybe 14, 15, we were kind of moving more towards MTV strictly, because like Nickelodeon started to maybe feel a little too childish. But then what happened with Nickelodeon at Night? It turned into Nick at Night, right? And then we had the throwback shows, which I always loved too, like,
Green
Welcome Back
Acres is the place for me. That's the one I always remember. So remind me, what was, because I remember the word Snick, but what was Snick? Was it just the programming at night on Nickelodeon for the teens?
Well, it was always on like a Friday or Saturday, right? It was like the weekend programming. They wanted to get you to stay in like Friday night and watch all these shows. And it was about that. Usually they'd be new ones that were coming out. So you'd see the newest Clarissa or the newest like Keenan and Kel or the newest All That. They would premiere a lot of those on Snick. It's like, remember the TGIF shows? Mm-hmm. They would air them new. Like you'd see your new Full House or you see your new Family Matters or whatever. That was kind of the idea. Like you would get the new ones or the new Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or that's what I remember. Like you would anticipate the new ones, because what you'd get during the week, right, is you get the repeats. So
yeah,
that's when you could expect the new episodes on Snick.
Oh, okay. What about you, Vince? Nostalgic for Snick?
Oh yeah, very. I mean, like, I always remember it being more the afternoon, like the more adult stuff later. Not like adult, but more teen oriented. Yeah. So, but even like, you think of, we talk about Ren and Stimpy. We talk about Rugrats, but like you had Doug, Rocko's Modern Life, and I'm trying to remember what the other two were. But it was like really good cartoons, but then the shows were great, like Ryan said. So it was definitely that time when, you're playing with video games, you're running outside with your friends, coming to do something else, and you want to turn on the TV, and most channels had, just if you had cable, had boring shows on. Right, so it was something you could watch, but I don't know. I remember watching a lot of that stuff, and then eventually I found anime and other things. I moved away from it a lot more than most kids did.
Well, me and Vince talk about a lot too, like our segue, or at least mine at the time, because I'm a little younger than Vince, but my segue into animation was Saturday anime on the Sci-Fi Channel. Blew my mind. It's the first time I saw Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D. I would tape it, and I would cherish those tapes. And just because it was the only way I could even watch this stuff before the internet. And the only way you could get anime is you'd find it dubbed for expensive prices in your comic store or in Suncoast Video. They'd be like $50 a VHS. So yeah, it's like I kind of segued into that too. But what was cool about Nickelodeon, as I was saying before when I was talking about MTV, is Liquid Television kind of gave us a little bit of a segue too into anime styled shows like The Mask and kind of this adult humor and adult kind of scripts on that led me to want to watch stuff like Saturday Anime on the Sci-Fi Channel. And you know, they really intrigued you with like this is raw stuff, like uncensored, violent anime. This is not for kids. You need to turn, not to watch. So anytime you hear that, you want to watch that when you're like 14, 15. Oh, I'm watching this,
Liquid Television, man. Or just that should have been one of our honorary mentions, is that Sci-Fi Channel Saturday morning anime.
Yeah.
And it was always during the summer. It was like a particular week in the summer that they would have Saturday morning anime. And it was, you could watch Akira and Record of Lotus.
They would show you this. Their whole like intro for that series was just the most just eye candy scenes from all those movies too. So it would just be mind blowing. They would just show the coolest fight scenes from all those amazing 90s anime and just like show you it within a minute. And you're like, oh my God, that's the best animation I've ever seen in my life. When you would see that intro and you're like, I'm hooked. Let me watch this. Let me tape this. So.
Yeah, I never got into anime, but I think that's how I watched like the ending to Akira. It must have been the Sci-Fi Channel, because I do remember it was a morning and it was like at the end where that thing is taking over the city.
Yeah,
it was like the end, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I actually bought the Blu-ray because I'm like, man, I remember when I saw that on TV, I was like, I need to watch this movie one day. This looks awesome. I have it on Blu-ray.
We can watch it together. We'll stream it in Discord.
And speaking of,
I wanted Kaneda's bike so bad. That bike was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I wanted his red motorcycle.
I want that jacket.
It even had computer controlled anti-lock brakes. I could ride it. Tetsuo wanted to ride that so bad. But dude, I would watch that bike scene, Vince, like I would just watch it, rewind it, watch it, rewind it. The fight scene with the clowns on the highway. Oh my God. I would just rewatch that and just want to live that out,
Is that Tetsuro? You pea brain.
Did somebody tell me that it's a long movie though? Because somebody told me, just like kind of brace yourself. It's a long one.
It's a feature length film.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. You need to watch it. I mean, there's that's something Ryan's been telling me to do, is I need to do a comprehensive list of things that people need to watch, like anime they should watch from like the 80s and 90s. Maybe make a YouTube on it.
Um,
you should be like top 5 anime movies you should watch for
he has a big collection. He has a really big collection, and what I wanted to know from him is I want to know all the ones that are dubbed, because it's very hard to do research on anime, and a lot of times you'll download it and it's subtitled, which I can do it, I can deal with it, but I prefer not to read my movies because it takes away from focusing on how good the animation is.
Yeah.
So I do like dubbed ones, and people are always like, the dubs are so bad though, you should watch the subtitles. Dude, I don't even care if the voice acting is bad. I'll listen to it and just be able to enjoy the animation more, because I'm not looking down at the screen. Yeah. I can focus on the center where all the action's happening and just, let the characters talk. So I wanted him to help me out with that and show me his stacks of anime that are all the dubbed ones.
I can do that still. Still need to do it.
Future project for Dad Level Podcast on YouTube right there. All right, let's go to Vince's number 4 pick. Cool. It comes with a little cool song in this commercial.
Hold on tight. The most incredible rock and roll adventure ever is here.
Feed him to the shark guns.
Starring Judd Nelson as Hot Rod, Leonard Nimoy as
Galvatron,
and Orson Welles.
I am Unicron.
Beyond good. Beyond evil, beyond your wildest imagination. Transformers, the movie. Transformers, the movie.
At number 4, Vince has the Transformers the movie trailer. This is a pretty epic trailer right here.
Oh yeah, man. I remember being this 86, so like 5 or maybe 4. Seeing this trailer, and my dad was hyped too. So I remember going to see this movie in theaters. I remember sitting there in the seats and seeing Prime die and crying. But my dad tells it, you're in a room with a bunch of parents or dads with their sons or their kids, and you just hear sniffling and crying all over the theater because Prime's dead. It was a moment. It was very impactful, this leader, iconic person that we watched. No, but I've always been a Transformers fan. I mean, this is not evident over here.
Yeah.
On anything I do on the podcast, when I talk about Transformers, I can gush about it all day. But this movie was something special for me because I remember I watched it. I think I've watched this movie the most out of any other movie in my entire life. And that's saying something compared to how many times I've watched The Matrix and Star Wars and other things that I enjoy. But there's a magic with this movie that is missed because it has some very mature themes going on. It has it's a transition from the old guard into the new guard kind of thing. And the animation style that they did was leagues beyond what they were doing in the cartoon that was running at the time. You had an amazing soundtrack. Stan Bush with his You Got the Touch, and was it the Dare? You had Weird Al Yankovic doing Dare to Be Stupid. You had new characters, and I know Zombie, if you're watching this, man, I know you hate Rodimus and Hot Rod because the fact that he kills Prime, or he's the reason why Prime falls, even though Megatron did most of the damage. But I still love that character. But it was such a good time, and it's something that I can. For the longest time, I'd watch that movie, and I would still get teared up seeing Prime die, of how much it impacted me as a kid. I mean, because you think about movies we watched or cartoons, you never saw characters die, but Prime dies. Half the cast of the original show dies in the first few minutes of the film. You had Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron, which was the reformatted version of Megatron. You had Orson Welles as Unicron. It was just a spectacle. And it is if I could say this is the best animated movie I feel that we've ever gotten for a property that exists, that was based off of a cartoon. I don't think there's anything better than this movie.
Not G.I. Joe, the movie?
No.
No?
No.
Because I know you're a G.I. Joe guy too.
Oh, I'm a G.I. Joe fan too, but yeah, no. It's, as a kid, I enjoyed it, but reading the Marvel comic where it actually all started, before we actually got the figures and everything, because at the time there were some legal things that were going on with selling toys. You couldn't just do a cartoon at the time. You had to have something. So they didn't have a cartoon. So what they did was they had the Marvel comics, and they decided to, when they did advertisements for it, it was for the comic. It wasn't for the toys, but they were selling the toys at the time. So this is 82, when the Real American Hero was on air.
Damn, it's been around that.
They had this whole Cobra Law thing that they had where it was a secret serpent society from these old world people that wanted to destroy mankind so they could take over. and that's where that like Cobra Commander came from, and how he became this. What is it? You know, he got exiled by them, and he started Cobra, which is okay. So we're going to do all the nose things of why he created Cobra, instead of like in the comic, which was done by Larry Hama, where he was a used car salesman who his brother was a vet that was dealing with PTSD. It was an alcoholic. The VA wasn't taking care of him, and he ended up in a car crash, killing Snake Eyes' parents and his twin sister. So the reason why he decides to do Cobra is completely different. Didn't have this fantastical nonsense of these reptile snake people. So I can't retroactively like that movie. I love it, but I just like it's not my favorite version.
It's not Transformers, the movie.
Yeah, it's not Transformers.
Any thoughts on this one, Ryan? This trailer for Transformers?
So somehow I didn't even know that Judd Nelson did the voice in this. I had no idea. And I love Judd Nelson. Is probably the coolest character in any John Hughes movie ever. I think Judd Nelson in Breakfast Club is even cooler, shocker here, than Ferris Bueller. There's nobody more badass than Judd Nelson in Breakfast Club. He's just the coolest motherfucker ever. So that's cool to hear that he's in that. I think the animation's amazing in it. I do enjoy Transformers, but I mostly collect G1, so the 80s ones. Vince is more into the modern ones, though I have a few. But yeah, I'm with him on it being a good movie.
I love both. They're just the G1 of stuff that I don't have is super expensive. So, but just to do that clarification.
Yeah, there's just something about G1 that is a little more simplified. You know, they've done more advances with, in the modern Transformers. They're a lot more detailed, but there's something about the simplicity of some of the original G1 that I enjoy. And Vince knows I even like the Pretenders, which a lot of people hate on. So I even like that, and Beast Force. So
yeah, I don't know why I missed out. I never watched Transformers, G.I. Joe either. I don't know why. I was all He-Man. I don't know why. Well, He-Man and TMNT.
I can kind of relate to you on G.I. Joe. I do like G.I. Joe, but I kind of like the villains better. Like I like, Big Boa and Destro and
Cobra Commander.
But I think it's maybe because I was never that much into military stuff, even though that's not really the whole thing on the show. But it's a lot of people that are into G.I. Joe, they're all also into kind of military history and just it does kind of go hand in hand, but it just something didn't really speak to me as much as it did with Turtles or Ghostbusters or He-Man, but I do appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Vince, when you cried for Prime, did you have the same feelings when Pegasus from, was it the Pegasus horse from Neverending Story, when he gets sucked in by the quicksand? What was that?
Artax?
Yeah, Artax. Yeah, I not really. I mean, because I enjoyed that film and I did love it. But it's one thing when you have a movie that is a one and done, right? And I know that there's been 3 sequels to Neverending Story, but because you have this short window of time that you're going to bond with these characters. So, but for Transformers, it started in 80, 84. 5, and so I at least had 2 years worth of attachment to Prime, and then so when he dies like he does, it was oh my gosh, my brain was broken. So
it's funny that you asked Vince that, because actually what Transformers is to him is what Neverending Story is to me, because it's one of the few VHS I have, and I watched it till it was it had tracking problems. I watched that movie so many times. So I definitely got very emotional when Artax died. And as an adult, all the themes and the end, before the Gamork fight, it's just about the nothing and taking away, making people lose their hopes and dreams. It's so relevant if you don't miss the important themes and messages at the end on what life is, and that we get dumbed down with the, as you were talking about in the beginning, when life was simpler in the 90s, but just with paying bills and just keeping up with everything and trying to stay in shape and, just all the issues and stresses in life, you have to not let the nothing take away your hopes and dreams and your passions. And that's really the underlying message in a lot of the never ending story is when they're conquering the nothing, it's because you have to keep that alive. And, so I love it as a kid and I love it as an adult. But it is missed some of the messaging with some of the people in never ending story. It kind of goes over people's heads sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something too with like Transformers is I think it's missed a little bit, and it's not represented in some of the newer media for it. But the original cartoon was, two warring factions of like these sentient robots. But you think about the Autobots, they were like the workers, right? They were mechanics and medics and laborers, and they didn't want to fight, but they took up the mantle to do it because it was the right thing to do. Even when they got to Earth, they wanted to protect the humans, even though Megatron was like, let's drain the planet and take all the energon and we'll rule the world, in the galaxy. But yeah, there's a message there too. It's like, sometimes you may be in a hopeless situation, but if you have the ability to fight for what's right and those that can't fight for themselves, do it. Don't be afraid. That's kind of the messaging I got from the original Transformers outside of other things that they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. I need to check that one out. Even if it's just for that "You've Got the Touch" song.
Dude, there's so much good stuff in it, man. Like I am known to do this. I will sit there and I'll have my windows down and I'm blaring the Transformers soundtrack because I don't care.
What's the other hit outside of "You've Got the Touch"? I think I heard something after "You've Got the Touch" in the trailer.
There's Dare. There is Instruments of Destruction. You got the Transformers song itself by Lion is fantastic. And I got it. Maybe I need to have a moment where Ryan's like taking requests on his show, and he can do that with guitar and stuff.
There you go. There you go, Ryan. A challenge.
Good soundtrack.
A challenge right there. All right. I'm gonna go now to let's see what are we at here. My number 4 pick here.
Dunkaroos is the cookie you drunk for as much frosting as you want. So how do you do your Dunkaroos?
The super duper deep dunk.
The long distance dainty dunk. You can dunk a Dunkaroo in as much chocolate or vanilla frosting as you want. So, how do you do your Dunkaroos? Now we've mixed yummy chips of chocolate in a creamy vanilla frosting. New chocolate chip Dunkaroos.
So at number 4, I've got the Dunkaroos commercial. That's another one of those where we'd be walking around in the schoolyard going Dunkaroos, Dunkaroos, because of the stupid jingle and always like wanting Dunkaroos because it was like not something that I could just find at any liquor store that I lived by. It was like you kind of had to look for them, and they still sell them. They still sell.
They're
Dunkaroos.
not as good.
Yeah,
they're not as good. This is what happens now. They're stale because I think poor packaging and not airtight enough, and the icing isn't as good.
Yeah. It's like really sweet. It's really sweet.
Yes. When they put this stuff out, they just chance on. Yeah. They used to just put better ingredients and stuff, man. I hate to be that guy to say that, but they just do. And I don't know what it is. They're always like stale when I've tried the new ones.
Yeah, I bought I think I found them maybe at Dollar Tree a couple of years ago. And I was Dunkaroos. Yeah. I remember Dunkaroos, and I bought a box and I ate like one of the packets, like a few of the cookies. I'm like, damn, I can't be eating this. This is like all sugar.
Diabetes. But talk about two things that kids love.
The diabetes.
Cookies.
Yeah.
And frosting. Yeah.
It's like a birthday party in a snack right there. You know?
It literally tasted like cake frosting, like that Betty Crocker cake frosting. Well, it's made by Betty Crocker, I think, this one, right?
Yeah.
Very delicious.
Yeah. But I've always had like, I don't know, like I've always been intrigued by the Australian people. I don't know I don't know why. Maybe Crocodile Dundee or something about them.
A great accent. It's the accent.
I think it's I think that's what it is, the accent. So like
listen, and before all his controversies, no one was cooler than Mel Gibson, dude. Okay? In the Mad Max movie, in Lethal Weapon,
is he Australian?
Mel Gibson was about as cool as it gets in the 80s.
I didn't know he was Australian.
Oh yeah, he's completely Australian. And that's where Mad Max franchise started in Australia. It's massive there, even bigger than it is here. Mad Max is a series.
Now that you know that he's Australian, go back and watch Lethal Weapon. You'll hear it as he says.
Oh, really? You know which movie my history teacher showed us in high school that I really like with Mel Gibson is Gallipoli. Have you guys seen that one? It's like a war movie, and it's like I think it's like a late 70s war movie with a young Mel Gibson. It's really good. It's pretty sad too. And
if you watch, isn't it Mad Max? Like he's like he does. They redubbed his voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like the theatrical, the U.S. release doesn't have his actual voice. That's crazy. What the fuck? Dude,
I'm not gonna lie. Like there was like times in the 80s I kind of wanted to be Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. I thought he was that cool in Lethal Weapon. And I thought Sonny Crockett was that cool in Miami Vice. And I thought like Zach Morris was that cool in Saved by the Bell. Like there was just like a lot of these characters that were just so damn cool, man. And you wanted to be yourself, but like it's like you wanted to be like have their charisma. Something about the charisma of a lot of these people that you were inspired by that, and just that, like with like Mel Gibson, the dynamic he had in Lethal Weapon, where he was just on the edge, and everything about it.
No, Ryan, but I want to be Jack Burton. That was the one.
Yeah.
You know who I wanted to be? Remember the kid from the Monster Squad, the older kid with the glasses.
Rudy?
Yeah, and I remember I saw
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I saw him at a horror convention like years ago, and I was like, man, I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to be just like you. I thought you were so cool in that movie. And he's like, guess what? Yeah,
it's so funny because you still haven't seen Top Gun, right? He was basically doing Top Gun Tom Cruise.
Oh,
with the shade and the leather jacket.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing in that movie.
But like the little kid, the teenage version. Yeah, and I remember he looked at me, he's like, you know what? I was a dork. I also wanted to be like that character.
Okay, yeah. Well, the funny thing is his first name is Ryan. We had to look this up like a couple of
Monster Squad kid
months ago or whatever. We were talking a couple of years ago. We were talking about this in Discord and stuff, and I was like, no, the character's name was Rudy, but the actor's name is Ryan something. And it's like, oh, there you go, Ryan.
He was also hot because he also got the hot sister at the end of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he get the?
No, because she started being uncool to him.
But the whole movie, he's flirting with her, right? So like you always wanted to be in these movies, like the one that had the swagger with the female lead. And like, because the rest of them were really dorks in the movie. I mean, let's face it. But he was like the one with like a little bit of swag.
Yeah.
With that leather jacket in the Wayfarers.
Yeah.
So it's like just the way he had that confidence with the cute sister that you wanted to be him and be macking on the ladies too as a kid,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Ryan Lambert. Who played Rudy.
He's a nice guy too. When I met him at the convention, nice dude.
I always wanted to be, if I was going to be anybody, the character, I wanted to be Sean, the main character.
He went on to do like bigger movies, right? The main kid.
I think a little bit. Yeah, he did some stuff.
Like the kid that wore the Stephen King Rules shirt, right? Yeah,
dude. A lot of those VHS are like a fortune. Like I couldn't believe like Monster Squad on VHS. I have a copy. It's like $100 now on eBay.
Really?
Like a lot of those are really.
I believe
the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre VHS is like 100.
Yeah,
all kinds of went up crazy.
I have one of those variants. It always depends too, like on what variant you have. I think I have like the media one or something. It's like 80, I think. But yeah.
All right. $120 on eBay right now.
Yeah. But back to Dunkaroos. Loved them back in the day. Can't eat them no more. Like you said, the Wilford Brimley diabetes. Can't eat that anymore. All right, let's check out Ryan's. What are we here? Ryan's number 3 pick here. I had actually
introducing 6 wheels of blazing speed. Scorcher 6x6. It's red hot. 6 wheels to burn up the road. 6 wheels that'll outturn, outmaneuver any 4-wheeler. 6 wheels for the fastest 360 spins ever. Radio controlled, rechargeable 9.6V turbo power. The incredibly hot Scorcher 6x6. Fuel from Tyco. Battery pack required. Sold separately.
The 6x6 Scorcher commercial. Man, that was a badass commercial. Tell us about this commercial, right, Dog?
So this is relevant to me because I owned it. I don't know if it was it was probably a birthday present, but it's one that I was eyeing. Man, when you went down that Toys R Us aisle and the Tyco aisle, and it was just stacked on the shelves, and they were all out of your price range. I remember they were like $125, $150, $150 for some of those. So that was definitely one of like the big present of like that birthday or whatever that year. But man, was that thing a blast to use. And you kind of had to baby it because you didn't want to hit the curb and break it. But they were actually really durable. And yeah, it would do the 360 spin really good. When you drive it straight, it would go fast as hell. That's the thing is too, when you see these remote control cars, a lot of them are just pieces of shit when you go into some of these stores these days. But Tyco was a really great brand back then. I don't even think they're still around, but they were making great stuff. And I remember my friend down the block had a Tyco Fast Tracks, which it kind of looked like the Thundercats tank. It had like those, like the treads, the rubber treads, and that's how it would move. But I wanted to get something different than he had, so I went with the Scorcher. And that thing, you only get 20 minutes off like a 5-hour charge, but that thing goes fast for 20 minutes. And you put that little battery brick in, and yeah, I mean, those commercials sold it, and I love the red, the chrome wheels, everything about it. That was definitely one of my prized possessions, that Tyco RC car as a kid.
So you weren't doing what they're doing in the commercial, because in the commercial they're like off road, going off cliffs.
Oh no, not off road. I was taking it to the concrete in my suburban neighborhood. I was taking it to the concrete. I didn't even have like a dirt. I wasn't in like some dirt Arizona savannah that I could take that thing off road or something. Everything had grass in my suburban neighborhood, so I don't even know where I would have done that at. But so to make it do the 360 on the remote control, you'd press up on the left, down on the right, and that would make it just turn to the right and do a 360. And it really worked really good. It was not just a gimmick in the commercial. The thing worked awesome. And I did repurchase that as an adult. Same style, same one. And I'm proud to have that. Yeah, that's a piece of my childhood I had to revisit.
Yeah, very cool. Any thoughts on this one, Vince? Did you have this one too?
No, I think I had one Tyco. I don't remember what it was. But that was the thing. They were more expensive. So it's like, for what I could have paid for one of those, I could have got something else that I really wanted. But they were cool. I had friends who had some, and it was the one that comes to mind is the one that had the treads, but it was like the 3 wheels, so it could be rolled any way.
I remember
it could
that.
flip over, and
yeah,
it would be and that was cool. And it had stunts where you would flip.
What was that one called? I remember that commercial.
I can't remember.
I think you're describing the one my friend had, the Fast Tracks.
Yeah, might have been
Fast Track. TRAXX, Fast Tracks, and yeah, it would have those rubber tire, they look like tank tires.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I can visualize that.
There's an Achilles heel to that. Okay, the Achilles heel to that one, as my friend had it, the tracks constantly fell off because think about it. It's like gears are moving it. So as the gears move it slips and slides, and then you have to put it back on, snap it back in place. So that was the Achilles heel of that one. And when I seen him having to fix it all the time, I'm like, no, I'm going with the Scorcher, because that had wheels permanently on there and the track can't fall off. And, much to that effect, that's why whenever you see the Thundercats tank, the treads are constantly off that because they fall off or get brittle and break. So that rubber just does not hold up.
You know how I said I didn't really care for cars? When I saw this commercial that you sent, Ryan, I was like, this was the exception. I always wanted to have one of these. Yeah. We just didn't have the money. But I remember looking at those commercials and be like, oh, man, I would love one of these RC cars.
It does the 360 so fast when you look at it. No BS. It's like a blur. When that thing's charged up, you do the 360. It goes so fast, it's like a blur.
Yeah, I would have loved one of these. I remember we were so into Twisted Metal too, like Killer, Billy, other kids in the neighborhood, that I was like, you know what we should do? We should all buy like RC cars and do our own Twisted Metal. And I remember we all went to like Circuit City and bought but we bought like the cheapy ones, we were not doing the 6x6 Scorchers. There was like the cheapy $10 ones, and we would play a game where like, okay, last man standing. So like you had to flip the other cars, and whoever was the last one standing, that was the winner of the Twisted Metal. We played, that was fun, but we were only able to play that like a couple of times because they were cheap RC cars. So they would die. They would die like after 2 or 3 playthroughs. Yeah.
Usually if there were ones that had just like where you put the batteries in it, like, AAA, AA or whatever, those were, cheaper ones versus like the ones that actually had the batteries that you pull out and you plug in to charge them.
Yeah. I remember some of our friends, like they couldn't afford the ones that were wireless. So they had to use the ones with the cable. Remember the ones that had like the cable connected to the car, to the remote? Oh man. Good times. I would love to have a Scorcher. Do you ever use your Scorcher where you live? Like just go in the front of your house and just use it?
I have a really long driveway.
That's cool.
So it's good for that. And I'm on a cul-de-sac, so I can do the loops. It's and then I don't get cars driving by most of the time, so I can do loops around the cul-de-sac with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I do. I'm sure I look like a man child from my neighbors, but I don't really care.
Yeah. Why can't we play with our toys, huh? Why can't we be some 40-year-olds playing with our toys? What's wrong with that? We could be doing worse things out there.
It could be.
All right. Let's go. We're gonna check out now Vince's number 3 pick here.
For an entire generation, people have experienced Star Wars the only way it's been possible, on the TV screen. But if you've only seen it this way, you haven't seen it at all. Now, for its 20th anniversary, the adventure of a lifetime returns to the big screen in a way you've never seen before.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
With newly enhanced visual effects,
they're coming in too fast!
THX and digital sound. And a few new surprises.
Hanabuki Barbonyanta.
On President's Day weekend, 1997,
Good luck.
George Lucas and 20th Century Fox invite you to welcome back Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2. Finally, the motion picture event, the way it was meant to be experienced.
This will be a day long remembered.
As the entire Star Wars trilogy returns on February 14th, Star Wars, followed soon after by The Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi.
Move closer!
For a whole new generation who have yet to experience it on the big screen. And for everyone else to experience it again.
our last hope.
No, there is another.
The Star Wars Trilogy, Special Edition. See it again for the first time.
The Force will be with you.
Since you've got the Star Wars, this is, I'm guessing, like the trailer announcing when it came back, right? When they re-released it in the theaters.
Yeah, when they were both bringing them back into theaters after Lucas had been talking about, hey, I'm gonna remaster these movies. I'm gonna add some extra scenes that I wanted to put in originally, and then try to use footage that he had originally filmed that didn't work at the time. He cut, like the whole him meeting Jabba the Hutt when it was originally this Scottish guy. So he had to go in and digitally do Jabba the Hutt younger as a slug, doing his thing, and then, like, figuring out how to have Han Solo kind of go behind him. So it was pretty funny, that whole thing of like having him step on his tail. So this, I was a big Star Wars fan. I still am a big Star Wars fan. I'm not a fan of Disney Star Wars, except for Mando and Rogue One. But I love Star Wars. Star Wars is just up there with Transformers with me. And I remember sitting there as a child because I got to see at least Return of the Jedi in theaters. I probably was maybe 2, but I got to see that in theaters.
When they're originally released? When
it originally came out. When Return of the Jedi released, I was at least 2 when it came out. But my dad had all 3 movies he recorded off of whatever, Showtime, HBO, on one VHS. And I watched that thing till it broke. So, and then I was so upset because it was my dad's that I originally had planned to buy the movies officially on VHS and then give them to him. So that way I wouldn't have to, tell him that I messed up his recorded copy of it. But I ended up keeping them and stuff, But seeing this trailer was like, it was finally, I'm going to be able to go see these movies that I have loved in theaters officially for the first time, and getting to see all the new touch-ups, the things that that were beyond what originally he had the technology to do. So getting to see like Cloud City more, getting to see the new ending for Return of the Jedi, which I enjoy the original like Ewok music, but like the instrumental where it shows like, Coruscant and different planets about like how the Empire had been destroyed because Luke destroyed the Empire, and we had the rebellion had a major victory over the Empire. But I was known as a Star Wars guy. Like I would go to school with Star Wars T-shirts. If kids saw me in school, they were like, "Hey, man, what's up? Are you excited for that new Star Wars?" So, yeah, it's really important for me because like Star Wars is big in our family. So, but just this trailer like always resonated with me because it was so cool.
Yeah,
the hype that I had for it finally going back to theaters.
Yeah. Thoughts on this one, Ryan? Do you remember this trailer or these trailers that came out?
Oh yeah, I went to see them all, and like, and what was cool about Lucas was he made sure that these were in IMAX certified theaters. So if it was a crap theater, it probably didn't get released there. And I was so obsessed with like surround sound and having like my speaker, my 5.1 setup with the subwoofer, the 2 fronts, and the surround sounds, that I like wanted the THX sound sign from the theaters. I've told Vince about this. I wanted to like unscrew one and put it in my own freaking room because I just thought it was so cool. That whole sound, I even do it in my intro, the THX intro, the little, that crazy sound that it does. But no, I love the vintage toys. I had a bunch of Ewoks, and then that got me seeing the IMAX re-releases with all the touch-ups. I loved it, and then I went to buy the Power of the Force 2 figures back then. So, which today I have most of that line, but I did open them all, which is cool. So for like people listening, it's a really cheap line to collect. Power of the Force 2. You can go into stores. I'm sure you've seen it, Tib and Vince. Like you go to a store, you see them carded for like $3 each, and you can buy a lot of like 70 of them for like $100 on eBay. and then just open them all and have fun and just have all the figures. And what was cool about Power of the Force 2 was we got a lot of characters that we never got with the original vintage Kenner. So I loved it all. I loved like the merch that the fast food places got. And it was just amazing. It was definitely like seeing it for the first time. You know, you can't compare like VHS on a CRT to seeing that in an IMAX theater and the surround sound. It was just bonkers. And I think it really brought everybody together. It wasn't just sci-fi geeks. They were there. Literally everybody. It's like, who went to see Titanic? They all went to see the 3 Star Wars movies being released in IMAX. Everybody was there. I mean, that was what was selling tickets those summers when they re-released these. Up to hyping up the Phantom Menace to come out, you know?
Yeah. I wasn't even, had never even watched the Star Wars movie, and I watched those when they released. Because I had a friend across the street that was super into Star Wars, and he had the toys. And they said, hey, come watch the Star Wars movies with me. They re-released them. I was all right. I went with them, and I like them. I like those first 3 Star Wars movies. I'm not like I don't know, like everything. I think I've only seen them that one time, and I liked them, but I haven't seen them since. I actually found them on Blu-ray recently, so I'm like, I'd kind of like to check them out again. But I know there was like
down to even
what?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, even down to the details, accentuating the VHS box sets when they came out. You know, differentiating between like the silver and the gold box sets and widescreen or full screen. You got your trilogy and that cool, just shiny holofoil. I kind of love just looking at that now. Just in my VHS collection, that you have those cool box sets with, you know, the ones I'm talking about, Vince, with the metallic silver and the gold for full screen and wide.
Mm-hmm.
So just everything. That's the thing that George Lucas gives you. He gives you the attention to detail that you would want, and I think that, you know, just to say about people that hate on the changes that he made, most of them I was fine with, and I think it's overblown and people need to relax with all that. And I think a lot of the stuff he added looked amazing, and it blew my mind as a kid seeing most of that stuff. So those diehard people that get butthurt about the changes he made to the movies, I think they were for the better. And those guys, the fanboys just need to relax, man. It's just, good Lord.
I mean, come on. Come on, who shot first?
I was gonna say you weren't bothered by that, Vince. You weren't bothered by who shot first,
no,
Greedo or
Greedo.
Because if I wanted to watch the original versions, I could. I still had that on VHS. I still do, so I can watch those if I want to. But it's kind of a tragedy now that we don't have the option for people who may just want to watch the original version of it, and being able to have that option and the special editions. Because even like when he did,
you think that'll happen? You think that'll happen after he passes, Vince?
Well, it's Disney. Disney has ownership. It's up to them to do it. But they're so dead.
But like, do you think there's a fear? There's a fear that maybe Disney, he would fight them on it, even though they own it. Like he would fight them on. He doesn't want those coming out.
No, because he doesn't own the product. He remember he sold it for like $4 billion. I mean, he doesn't own it anymore. It's Disney's thing. It's their decision to do it. And it just sucks because it's an opportunity that is missed, because how many people would love to be able to have those versions, even if it was just digital, just put them on Disney Plus so people can watch them.
They should. And honestly, our generation, this is like, I know this is going to be an exaggeration, but our generation is like, this is like kind of like restoring the Mona Lisa. This is like kind of like restoring the, you know what I mean? Like this is such an important work that needs to be out, and it needs to be carefully gone through and put out in the best of, when we look at, Tib, when we look at like every CD list horror movie that we love come out in the 4K transfer, don't we think that the Star Wars original trilogy needs to preserve that way too,
That's kind of crazy that it hasn't come out, been re-released. That sounds like it's like they just be printing money. Like they would be easy.
Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, they did a release, and this was with Lucas when then the Star Wars trilogy came out on DVD. He did the special editions first. Then he did a limited run of where it was basically you would get all 3 movies, the first 3 or 4, 5, and 6, for those who want to get technical, you could get a DVD that had both versions on it. So it had the original release, the theatrical release, and the special edition on it. And I have that on DVD just for Star Wars because I was extremely happy with what they did for Empire Strikes Back: Return of the Jedi. It didn't hinder anything. It added to it. I felt the same thing with Star Wars, but it's still nice to have that companion piece, especially to be able to go and show my son, hey, this is what this movie looked like when I saw it as a kid. This is what it looked like when I was a teenager. Yeah. So you could see the difference.
What was like with the Vaseline on the freaking, what's the scene where they're going to
the land speeder? Yeah, when they're going to Mos Eisley.
The Vaseline blurry, like shadows underneath the, going to the cantina.
So just so you know what we're talking about, Tim. When Luke and Obi-Wan and R2 and C-3PO are going into Mos Eisley to find a ship to get out of there, to go find Leia on, because they didn't know, well, they knew she was captured, but they needed to get the plans to Alderaan. Anytime you see the land speeder, right, you see this like blur on the bottom. And what they did to make that effect happen is they actually put Vaseline on the camera lens. So when it was recording the image, it created this effect of it like it was floating. Because the thing was actually on wheels and it could be driven.
And did it look good?
Oh, yeah. It looks great. But when they did the touch-ups on the special editions, they kind of removed that and it allowed it to actually look like it was actually literally hovering, but then it was causing this dust pocket to pop up because of the the thrusters and stuff.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Weird one.
Weird Welsh stuff. I gotta rewatch those movies. By the way, not a Star Wars guy, but my favorite character, Boba Fett. I don't know. I always thought he was kind of pretty cool. Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
He was my favorite as a kid, but then I more gravitated. I did gravitate to Luke. It's like, as a kid, you're gravitating to characters that look like you. So it's like, hey, he's the blonde head guy. I'm a blonde head guy.
Yeah.
I want to be this. I want to be this hero.
Shocker! My favorite character is Slave Leia.
I am not even surprised.
The Ewok, Wicket the Ewok would be my next favorite because Wicket is adorable.
Is that the fast one? The really fast one?
No, Wicket's the Ewok.
The brown hood, kind of.
Okay. Next for me would be Admiral Akbar because he looks funny, and then that really fast Ewok from that. Trap. Yeah, that really fast Ewok from like that short Star Wars movie. I used to love that movie.
Oh yeah, from the Battle of Endor or the
he was like really fast. He was like he was like super fast. Yeah. I used to like that one. All right, let's go. I'm gonna go now to, let's see, what are we at? My number 3 pick here.
WWF Royal Rumble.
No.
Coming to Genesis with more wrestling superstars and more specialty moves than ever before. 16 makes mayhem. Incredible 6-foot in the ring action. In the ring, out of the ring, out of control. WWF Royal Rumble on Super NES and soon on Genesis. Get ready to rumble.
So I've got at my number 3 pick here, I've got the commercial for the Royal Rumble on the Sega Genesis. And it's specifically this one because if you guys remember back in the day when there would be a game that came out for both SNES and the Genesis, a lot of times they'd be different. And there was a Royal Rumble for Super Nintendo. There was a Royal Rumble for the Sega Genesis. Exact same gameplay, but it had different wrestlers. Like the Genesis had my boy Hulk Hogan. The Super Nintendo didn't have Hulk Hogan. The Super Nintendo had Ric Flair, but the Sega Genesis didn't have Ric Flair. So it had like different rosters.
Hold on, Tim. You mean your favorite wrestler is Hulk Hogan? No, I never knew that.
Hold on. I got a button for that too.
I did not know that.
Is that how you're feeling right now?
I did not know
that. I had no idea. Tim, nothing you've ever said or shown me or anything in your collection would lead me to believe that you, sir, like Hulk Hogan. I'm shocked.
Like I said, this is my Star Wars. The old school WWF is my Star Wars. So Like, and at that time, I just had gotten the Sega Genesis. I think you know how I do the swap meet hunt videos? Funny enough, the Sega Genesis was purchased at the swap meet by my mom. A vendor had a Sega Genesis, and she's like, "Hey, you want it?" I was like, "Oh, I can have a Sega Genesis?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she bought it from like, it was like not in the box or anything. It was just like on a table. And this is one of those commercials that I would see on TV, and I was like, I want that game. Can I have that Royal Rumble on the Sega Genesis? It has Hulk Hogan in it. And yeah,
we've got some really good timing for you, pal, because next week we're going to be on Before You're Live, and you'll be able to catch some of our Hasbro 90s wrestling figures episode, which I have more money invested in Hasbro's 90s wrestling figures than I'd care to even admit, to an embarrassing amount of money of figures I have in that line. So we're going to cover all those, and it's going to be an undertaking, dude, because as you know, there's like 120 wrestlers in that figure that we're going to have to go through.
Yeah.
So you're going to enjoy that.
Even though I won't be able to watch that live, I'm going to watch that one after the fact.
Yeah.
Because you guys got me with that one. I got to watch the Hasbros.
Yeah.
By the way, Vince right here at Retro Ryan do a live stream on Fridays. Is it 7 p.m.? My time, I think, is Pacific. 7 p.m. Pacific?
Yeah.
We're 10 p.m. Eastern Standard is the way I remember it. But
yeah, and all the links, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on the audio end, it'll all be in the show notes description to these guys. But they do this one specifically on Dad Level Podcast on Vince's channel. So you guys got to check that out. The other one I've been wanting to watch is when you guys did the Food Fighters. I need to watch. I have it on my queue. Yeah. I need to watch that one.
We've been trying to get on earlier so that we can time it so that we're on from like 10 to about, and kind of wrapping up when you start yours, so that we're kind of wrapping up and done by like midnight, so that, you know, it doesn't overlap too much for you, so that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing to note. So this episode is coming out in August. So this episode would have already premiered by the time you actually get to see this episode. So,
but it's all
go back and check it.
It's all on a playlist. I'm sure you have it on a playlist. So check out. I know you guys just did one on the Robin Hood figures. You guys have done NECA, movie Maniacs, freaking the Rambo one, right? Where I was watching that one where you guys were making fun of him holding like a meat slicer type weapon.
Yeah,
I can't believe we're gonna be wrapping on episode 40, and I can't believe that's been 40 weeks we've been doing this. It feels like we just started, but 40 weeks.
Weird wild stuff. But did it before we go to the next pick? Did any of you guys own the Royal Rumble games on the Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis?
My buddies did. I never did.
I just remember the arcade. I love the arcade one, and
WrestleFest.
I love the aesthetic look of the wrestlers. I love how they captured the facial gestures and expressions and wardrobes. I think they did a really good job with that, because we know how much they were not capturing that earlier than that. You know, on like NES, it just didn't do it. You don't know who you're looking at on the NES wrestling games. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Nintendo ones, because man, my first console was a Nintendo, and I remember trying to play WrestleMania on the NES. Fuck, that game sucked. I love the music in that game, but that game was impossible to play. WrestleMania Challenge was a little better, but they were not great. And even though these are all LJN, Royal Rumble was LJN too. You know, LJN, because of AVGN, doesn't have the best rapport with people. But I think this is a good game. Royal Rumble on the Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo. It's fun.
So back up LJN just for one quick tidbit here, or tib-bit. My top 5 NES ever is LJN's Nightmare on Elm Street on NES. That is an absolute favorite all-time game. I love that game so much. So LJN made that, and they did a great job.
Well, let's do one more tib bit. The fact that he's playing Jaws, which is one of my favorite. It's in my top 5. I enjoy that game.
You know what? I don't mind it, because it kind of reminds me of like a little bit of Galaga. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna turn on the damn turbo option on the RetroArch, because my wrist I'm not gonna lie. I've had carpal tunnel in the past. It started to like hurt after like the day after. I'm like, no. I'm gonna turn on the turbo option on the little spear gun because I'm too old for this shit. I can't be tapping the button all quick like that.
So that's the thing. So I'll give you a little tip, a little dad level tip here on Jaws. So since I haven't been able to make it to the streams and stuff, right? What you want to do is wait till Jaws kind of goes past you and get behind him and be shooting him as he goes off the screen. So as he comes back around, you want to like kind of dive underneath him and trail him like that, and that's how you can damage him. But you want to make sure you're at like 3 or 4.
Okay.
If you get higher than like 6, I mean he'll just deplete his life quickly. But that's the trick to take on Jaws.
I did not know that.
So I will be using that DLP tip right there. All right, we're gonna go now to who are we at now? We're at Rye Dog, right? Hold on.
My second pick.
Yeah, second pick. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hold on. It's because this one. You know how some of them like they're kid commercials, and you know when they're like for kids, it won't let you put them in a playlist.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, like when they're on for kids. Well, I'm gonna edit all this out, but when they're like for kids, you know how you can select like this is for kids, this is not for kids.
Mm-hmm.
It won't let you put it in a playlist for some reason. If it's for kids, made for kids, which is pretty annoying. Okay, so we're gonna play this one here. Okay. All right, let's check out now. Rye Dog's number 2 pick here. Wait a minute, where'd it go? All right, here we go.
Over here, I'm a boglin. Me and my buddies need a place to hide out. Come a little closer. Oh, did I scare you? Oh, I do that so well. If you take us home, we'll kiss your Aunt Martha. We'll eat your peas. And we hope you know lots of girls. Hey, the name's Boglins, each sold separately, and we're looking for good homes. Maybe yours.
And number 2, Ryan's got the Boglins commercial. Tell us about this pick right here.
Yeah, I had several of these, some of the bigger ones and some of the smaller ones, but this was a beloved toy I had that I've, in my adult years reacquired. I think 6 or 7 vintage ones, and then some of the new reissues. I got 3 of them in the box, little jail boxes that they come in, the little jail crates. But yeah, I mean, what's not to love about this? Because Vince knows I'm a creature feature guy. I'm a horror guy, and I love critters, gremlins, ghoulies, all that kind of stuff. And what's cooler than this? I mean, you can make like your own home videos with these and just reenact scenes. And the fact that you can, it's like a puppet, but there's arms, and you put your hand in there and make the mouth move, make them talk, move the eyes.
I was going to say that because I saw the eyes moving. That's accurate. You can move the eyeballs.
Yep.
You can put your fingertips in the eyes, little plastic casing, and make the eyeballs move. And they have really good detail, like on the pupils. It looks like a real eyeball. And it's like, they're just so cool. They're very durable. The rubber they made on those really holds up. Like the ones I've got off eBay just look great. I just had so much fun with those as a kid because you feel like you're making a movie when you're playing with those. Like you're making your own creature feature kind of movie, and they are genuinely like good sculpts and genuinely kind of scary looking for like people like, you see those in a toy store and they really stand out on the aisle on the shelf because there's nothing quite like it. And it's kind of why I like Mad Balls a lot too, because they are very horror inspired and kind of grotesque looking. And so, and what a funny commercial, they're like the kids like going around like problem child harassing his whole family, like the aunt or the grandmother and the sister, and just wreaking havoc. And Good times.
They knew how to market to little boys, I think. I feel like in the 90s.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But it was always like portraying you being a little shit to your family. Like,
Yeah.
remember the Talk Boy,
Like
the Home
Tommy
Alone,
Boy.
like recording your sister's conversations with her boyfriend?
That's a good one, too. That would have fit good on this, the Talk Boy.
Yeah.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
What about you,
Talk
Vince?
Boy.
Any thoughts on this one, the Boglins?
So we actually did an episode talking about the Boglins, and it was really cool to get to go through these things and talk with Ryan about them, because I was curious to see how the material holds up. With like when you have these soft vinyl, soft rubbery toys, after a period of time, they start to dry out and they crack and they fall apart. And from what I was talking with Ryan about, like the ones he has, they haven't. The material is really good. The way the puppetry stuff is done is really nice. But what was cool was like the person behind this was one of the guys that worked with Jim Henson. So it was like he was trying to introduce puppetry and things like that to kids and their imaginations. And, you know, that could have bred people to become filmmakers and in the horror industry. It'd be nice to hear somebody actually talk about the fact, oh yeah, one of my inspirations for becoming a creature creator was the Boglins, but I've never heard it. But it'd be cool to hear if someone actually did.
Yeah.
But I thought they were really cool. I never picked one up, but you know, it's one of those things. You go into Toys R Us or other things. I see things that I want, and it's like it's a Boglin, but it's like for the price I could pay for a Boglin, I could get something else.
How much was a Boglin? How much were they going for back in the
Probably
day?
20. I would think like 15, 20 bucks.
20 bucks, yeah.
What was that, like $50 with inflation? 40, 50
yeah, I
bucks?
think
Maybe 40, maybe like 40, 35, 40, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? I love horror movies. I loved them growing up. I never heard or saw a Boglin as a kid. I don't know how I missed these. I never knew about the Boglins. I knew about Mad Balls.
I would go to KB Toys, and even though KB Toys had a lot less inventory than Toys R Us, they did have a very eclectic variety. So they would have a kind of a little bit of everything in small amounts, and it was in a tight area. So like you could see essentially what you'd maybe pass by in Toys R Us, because there's just an abundance of everything in mass quantities. And you'd be somewhere like KB's and maybe something would stand out because it's like, you know, just like everything kind of pops out the aisle and is more curated. So, but I definitely got it from KB Toys.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The Mad Balls and the Boglins I got.
I've just heard about these like in the last few years now, just, you know, collecting stuff and seeing like YouTube videos and people's collections. I'm like, I never knew about those, but looking at the commercial we just watched, it did look like something straight out of Ghoulies.
Yeah.
Like those characters would fit right in with the Ghoulies characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really cool. I could see that little Boglin popping out of the toilet and biting someone in the ass.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go now to Vince's number 2 pick here.
I'll be back.
For the audio listeners there, because there wasn't really any talking till the I'll be back. That was a T2 teaser trailer. Tell us about this one, Vince.
So I don't remember when I saw it, but I remember like we were in a theater watching something and that teaser came on. Because I remember, we were, my dad and us were kind of in the know because like he picked up Cinephistique and like Fangoria magazine and other film-based stuff. So like you would see these reports, but like it was really cool because you can definitely tell this was something Cameron inspired. You have a T800 facility, manufacturing Terminators, and you actually see the one that's going to be Uncle Bob, or just could be just a regular Model 101 Arnold type come out of it gets built, it gets put into the flesh generator, and then it pops out Arnold, and it was just like hell yeah. I remember just people yelling and screaming yes, in the theater. It was one of those moments you wouldn't have experienced until like later on.
So you actually saw this exact teaser at the theater. That must have been awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I remember the later teaser the actual trailer we got. But I'm a big Terminator fan. Like I love 1 and 2. I love all the comics that were coming out from like Dark Horse Comics. You had Now Comics before that was doing Terminator stories. One of the most like iconic stories is if you can pick it up. It's a graphic novel by Alex Ross called Burning Earth, and it's basically the last battle before John gets in to send back Kyle Reese to save his mom. But I love Terminator. I dislike 3 because it retcons some of the stuff that was established in the second movie. Like John's 13 when he was chased by the Terminator instead of actually being 10. It shows up in the when the T-800 kills the cop, goes into the police car, looks up John Connor. It tells you his age and the date he was born. He's 10 years old.
3 is the one with the blonde robot girl, right?
Yeah. Christina Loken, and then you had Claire Danes playing the love interest for John Connor. I can't remember the guy who played John.
I love Claire Danes,
but
I have a crush on Claire Danes in My So-Called Life.
You know what? I always confuse Claire Danes and the other girl from Spider-Man. Is that Claire Danes?
No,
Kirsten Dunst.
Kristen Dunst.
Yeah, Claire Danes is like the upgraded version of Kristen.
Yeah.
Dunst.
Oh yeah, I agree.
yeah. But yeah, no, I really liked Salvation, but I hated Genesis and the what was it, the last one, which was Dark Fate. So it's like I want James Cameron to come in and get the rights to just do the Future War and bookend it.
Yeah.
Leave it alone after that. No one has to touch it. I mean, like there's opportunities you could have done, like take the story and make it other characters that are affected by Skynet, like Skynet sending back Terminators to kill certain key people that are part of the resistance for John, beforehand. But they don't. They always want to go back to the Connors. It's kind of like Star Wars, where it's like Star Wars is much more than just the Jedi. It's much more than the Skywalker family. You could tell an infinite amount of stories within the universe. It is a fantastic sandbox that people don't want to utilize correctly. At least not these days.
So you're tired of the Connors storyline.
Well, it's already been told.
Yeah.
Like unless you want to tell the story of like what happens to Sarah and John in the future, that it was established by Cameron, that's fine. But like they don't even do that really. They did it with Salvation. It was a cool idea, but they never, they only did one movie, and it was like McGee, I think was the guy who directed it. But no, going back to the trailer, it just sparked my imagination. It was one of the things it's definitely one of the movies that kind of wanted me to be a director. I wanted to tell my own stories. I wanted to make film. And outside of that and Big Trouble in China and all the John Carpenter stuff, I was a big fan of Cameron. And being 11 years old, I was like, man, I would have been 10. This would have been awesome. This is awesome. This is fantastic. And it's like, man, I can't wait to see this. And then when I saw it, I was obsessed. I mean, I had the cards. I had my haircut like Eddie Furlong from the movie. I had my hair like that for all my life. Not as bad, but like that parted down the middle. I know.
No.
John's
Cameron's kind of like if you took away the family friendliness of Spielberg. You know what I mean? Like the sci-fi flair and action of Spielberg, but take away the sentimentality and family friendliness of like your standard Spielberg flair, and you just kind of went just more badass action. That's like what always Cameron makes me think of.
For Cameron, it's that whole thing of like he has that gritty sci-fi or really realistic tone stuff. It's like, with Steven Spielberg, a lot of times you get that family or that down to earth moment, but like with Cameron's
more closer to Ridley Scott. Cameron and Ridley Scott are more similar.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, okay, just this is, you guys are really going to hear this here, and so people are now going to hear this in the out the ether. And one of my reading classes, like our teacher's like, look, we're going to do a play. We're going to like teach you guys how to do all this stuff with puppets and everything. So our teacher let us do whatever the heck we wanted. So I sat down and me and my buddy Billy made puppets of Terminator 2. We reacted the whole freaking movie, and I drew everything. Somewhere there's a video in my collection, and I hope it's still good. But our teacher recorded it, and we did all of it. We did the lines from the movie. It was ridiculous. I'm surprised
by reading on YouTube.
I'm surprised my teacher allowed us to do this.
That's funny. Any thoughts on this trailer, Ryan? Do you remember this trailer?
I don't remember this trailer, and I think it's amazing that they went through that much trouble to do these promo shoots that's not just standard footage from the film. And it makes me think of like how cool the 3D Universal Studios show was, the live action one where they had actors play all the characters, and which was a really amazing show. If anybody ever got to see that back in the day, the Terminator 3D show that they did there. So it makes me kind of think of that, like the extension to the movie. But really cool promo. Yeah. And it also makes me think of that commercial for the what's it called, Vince, when they make it's like a clay or like a gel, and it makes the Terminators. What's that one called? The toy. Kind of makes me the flesh generation.
Oh yeah, it was the bio flesh generator for the Terminator. So I think it was Kenner who did the toys. So if you go check this out, and I could put this trailer up here. I didn't even think about it, but I'll go on a tangent on that later. But basically what it was is you had these endoskeletons. They were just plastic that were molded to look like they couldn't move. They were just really kind of like these thin plastic Terminators, T-800s, that you would put in this plastic clay case that you would put inside this like pump that would pump this mixture of like flesh-colored goo into the mold, so they would pop out. You'd have this T-800 Arnold with like underwear because it had the lines of the underwear on the figure, and you would be able to play with it and stuff and have them do battle damage. Like, so it came with little knives that you could like shove off like pieces of that gook that you would make.
Yeah, so like you know how Arnold looks at the end of T2, half his face is gone, and you could do that because
battle damage.
It's like that. Yeah, the flesh is like skin on the outside, and then it kind of breaks away almost like a clay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. I love T2 also. But I think my teaser trailer or my hype for it was probably that Guns N' Roses music video, You Could Be Mine. Oh, yeah. I remember loving that music video and wanting to watch the movie because of the music video. Yeah. That was like a thing back then too. Remember, like where there was like the music video that was tied to the movie, and they would show like little spots from little shots of the movie. You're like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I want to see that movie. Yeah, maybe it didn't sell that cocktail movie for Ryan, that Kokomo song, right? That didn't sell it for you, huh? Kokomo didn't.
Dude, Cocktail was such a decent movie until it derailed when he left the tropical like thing, and then he went back and followed Elizabeth Shue to the house, and then there's this whole melodrama with her and her dad, and then it turns into another movie, and then you're just like, by the end of Cocktail, you're like, what am I even watching anymore?
I mean, who wouldn't follow Elizabeth Shue anywhere? But
All right. Let's we're in the top. We're this is the final two, and then we're gonna go to our number ones. I'm gonna go to my number two pick here.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sport Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
I've got the Right Guard commercial with the Hulkster. So it's the Hulkster on the beach, painting a painting on an easel, talking about perspiration. That might have been his best acting gig, I think, ever. But let me take you back to this time. This was like 92, 93. This was pre-internet, at least for me, pre-AOL. Hulk Hogan, I think, stopped wrestling in 1992. Before that, I started watching wrestling in 91. I rented all the VHS tapes from the 80s. And I was like, I love this Hulk Hogan guy. This is my guy. I used to love He-Man. And when I saw Hulk Hogan, I was like, forget He-Man. This is the real He-Man. Hulk Hogan, he's the real deal right here. And then he left. He like retired. He went to Hollywood. And, I couldn't go. You couldn't go on Twitter. You couldn't go on X. You couldn't go on the websites and like, hey, what happened to Hulk Hogan? How come he's not wrestling? He was just gone. So every now and then this commercial would come on, like in 92 and 93. And I got in my feelings. I was like, Hulk Hogan, where are you? When are you coming back? Why are you in this Right Guard commercial? I would get like bummed out when I would see the commercial, because I was like, it would just remind me that he wasn't in the WWF anymore. So that's why I got this one at my number two. I don't know if you guys remember this commercial.
Oh, I do. I very much
that was a funny one.
And
I just wonder how many takes did he take to say odoriferous or odorific or like whatever the hell he said.
Odoriferous.
Yeah. That was definitely a multi-take before he got that one right, I guarantee you.
So I'm saying probably best acting gig for him.
Man, well, considering what his first movie, or at least the movie around that, I guess that time would have been Suburban Commando.
I think this was like fresh off of Suburban Commando.
Yeah. I wanted to see what the painting was, right? All you see is like the basket of stuff he has with the Right Guard. And then you see him put his initials there.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. But it just brings me back to like I said, back then, like there was no Instagram or nothing. So I couldn't be like following him on Instagram and like, oh, Hulk Hogan's doing good. He's whatever. He's doing movies or other. I didn't know where the hell he was. So for me, it was almost like, you know how, when you're younger, like you have like those role models, those people you look up to. I think that was like Hulk Hogan for me back then. Like, he would tell you, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and stand up for yourself. And I'd be like, all right, Hogan, I'm going to do that. Because you're telling me to do it. So it was a little bit of nostalgia. Got me in the feels there.
Well, that Vince McMahon documentary that came out on Netflix, and that really kind of like gave you an idea of what he was doing at the time and why he quit wrestling. And, that was kind of cool. Getting to have that, see that interview with him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're in the number one, so let's check out Ryan Rydog, and I keep calling him Rydog because that's just the nickname I gave him. That's what I call him from now on. For those wondering, let's go to his number one pick here.
This summer, coming to a supermarket near you. There's going to be a great new high C flavor with an outrageous fruit taste. And what are we going to call it? Ecto Cooler. High C Ecto Cooler. Slimer's new fruit drink. You've been warned.
And number 1, Ryan's got the Ecto Cooler, High C Ecto Cooler commercial. Very cool. The Slimer looks straight out of like a PS1 graphics in this commercial.
I mean, the most iconic juice box to me of the 90s there, Ecto Cooler. I drank so many Ecto Cooler juice boxes, I probably piss green.
I don't think I've ever had one. What's the flavor? Lime?
It was delicious. It was like kind of like an orange, tangy, kind of citrusy.
Yeah.
And that's why when they rebranded it. Yeah, when they rebranded it, it was kind of like they put oranges on it instead of when they lost the license for Slimer or whatever for Ghostbusters. But I loved it, and I loved the way it tasted. And like you would see it, and you would look at the lunch tables in like elementary school, and half the kids had either that or like Bop and Berry High C. High C is like what kids grew up on. High C and Juicy Juice was like what our generation was growing up on. Those juices. Because parents didn't want us drinking freaking soda, so what did we have? These sugary filled juices, which were still pretty bad, but
just as bad.
There was some vitamins in there. At least we had vitamin C, and But dude, that's just what you would get. You would get like your sandwich, you get like some chips, maybe like a cheese stick or a yogurt, and you get your High C drink, and you'd put that in your little lunchbox, which have become collectible too. Those little thermos lunch boxes that came with a thermos inside and all that, and that's what you bring to school, man. You would see tons of kids drinking Ecto Cooler and Bop and Berry and all those cool, and they always had such bright, colorful box art on these juice boxes too. So, or you had some kids, maybe they got a little fancier, late 90s, 2000s. You had your Capri Suns.
Oh yeah.
But that was and they still need to bring that back. And I think for one of the Ghostbusters movies, they did a limited edition one. You could get like a can. Just put it in stores for a year. Help us out here. Just put it in stores for a year. So everybody can get one.
You nostalgic for these, Vince?
Oh man, dude! If I could have these like on tap somewhere for the rest of my life, I would. I mean, as much as Ryan says he's a Ghostbusters fan, I'm equally there. I mean, the real Ghostbusters, first off, the films, right? I love 1 and 2 a lot. But I mean, this was a promotion technically for the real Ghostbusters cartoon. And that show was a phenomenon. It was like, there was so much cool stuff about the fact that it was this cartoon for kids, but it had some really creepy, dark undertones and storylines that were going on. And then we had the Ecto Cooler, and man, I would drink that stuff religiously. And I did look it up, so it's a mixture of orange and tangerine.
It was freaking delicious. It was delicious, bro.
Man,
it wasn't just about like if it sucked, it wouldn't have mattered that Slimer and Ghostbusters were related. If it sucked, we wouldn't have drank it. It was delicious.
So for a period of time, there was an opportunity where you could drink it, because they brought the flavor back, but they didn't label it as Ecto Cooler.
Yeah.
And then the closest we got to any kind of orange drink that was High C was all the way up until like 2000, I think 10 was when they I think High C went out of business and then got bought by somebody else. And but you can still get like High C orange at like McDonald's and certain places. Let's say it's even in the Coke's freestyle machines, but you can't buy those normally at the store.
Oh, that's great.
But like, man, we drank so much of that stuff. And I did get a chance to get the promotional one that they did for Ghostbusters 2016, which was a horrible movie. But when they did Afterlife, it was limited. And same thing with Frozen Empire, it was limited to like a certain group of people. They sent it out to influencers instead of it was readily open for anybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I kept seeing them getting released in the last few years.
So one thing to note, though, is that anybody who has canned versions of them, of the newest ones, apparently there's some carbonation in there or something like that, or something, or CO2. Something's in it. There was just an article that just came out that said that they're prone to bursting. So if you have it next to any collectibles and stuff like that, you need to be worried about that like bursting on you. So I was like, ooh, that's crazy. I don't have one.
Well, you can just do what that Radical Reggie guy did, and if it ruins your collection, ask for donations and to repurchase your video games. You guys remember that?
I didn't hear about that, but okay.
You heard about that one, right?
Yeah.
I've actually never had this. I've never drank it. You know what juice we would always get? Those damn, were they called squishers? They were like
the ones that were like in a bottle.
We always had those squishers. Or the Donald Duck orange juice. That was about it.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a staple.
I gotta try this. Maybe next time they release a movie, hopefully they come out with more and I can get myself. I can finally try it. Yeah. All right, let's go now to Vince's number one pick here.
Beyond the edge of reality lies a story of ultimate conquest, a story of war and friendship, a story of a love that can never be, and a hatred that always was. And now, the most anticipated epic adventure of the year will never come to a theater near you. Final Fantasy VII.
PlayStation.
At number one, Vince, you've got the Final Fantasy video game. What part is this? 8? Final Fantasy 7 trailer. Tell us about your pick here.
So what was funny was like I was already hyped for this game. This trailer actually I think came out like slightly after the game came out. But like I remember sitting in class reading AGMs in 8th grade, anticipating the release of Final Fantasy VII. I remember sitting there drawing the characters and stuff. I even have somewhere I took those sheets that they would have in class when they had the projectors, the things that you would put on there. They would write whatever on there and it would project on the screen. Mm-hmm. So I took one of those and I made my own cel-shaded Final Fantasy image. I have it somewhere. I have all the characters. It was really cool. But I was so hyped for this game. I remember going online and looking up videos because like this is 96, before the trailer and all that the game came out. And looking up like the cutscenes because I knew there were going to be cutscenes in it. I remember seeing the E3 thing or whatever gaming thing was around back then. And I was super hyped. So like when the game came out, I got it. It was funny because my buddy Jonathan was all like, "Hey, dude, my mom's going to take me to go get my copy of the game with EB Games we ordered it from." And I was like, "No, I got to wait for my dad." So walked home, waited till my dad got home. My dad drove me over there, got home, put in the game, started playing it. And this is back in the day, of course, for those who don't know, you could just put in a game. You didn't have to download anything. There was no updates. It was just, you just put it in.
What a concept.
And I just sat there and I played that game up until about midnight. My dad's like, "You got to go to bed. You got school tomorrow." I was like, "Dang it." And I remember just like taking the book to class and going, and this is like my freshman year in high school. And I was like, "Oh man, this is so cool." But it was really cool. And why this is my number one trailer because like for one, it's like one of my favorite games of all time outside of Chrono Trigger. And it was so cool to see your favorite game being advertised on TV, but not just on TV, in a movie theater. Because that's where I saw that trailer.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like,
that's crazy.
Now I like my mind of like going, wait a minute, you mean I can hook up my PlayStation to a movie theater and I can play it on that big giant screen? Let's do this. But
what movie? Do you remember what movie they showed the trailer?
No, I don't remember. Let me see. I'd have to look like what movies came out in 97 around that time.
That's cool. You a fan of these Final Fantasy games, Ryan?
I own the fourth one on Super Nintendo. Of course, I haven't played it. The one RPG I played and beat in is Phantasy Star 4. I did not have Final Fantasy 7, but I remember the phenomenon associated with it and everybody talking about it. They were talking about that and Solid Snake on Metal Gear at that time. Solid Snake in Final Fantasy VII was like what was popping. It was hot in the streets back then. But you know, the one that was hot in the streets for me around that same time or a little bit later was Medal of Honor, which was kind of, to me, the first extreme realistic war game. You know, shooting Nazis down those hallways, and just the sound design, and just it felt so realistic. And this is like before kind of Call of Duty, like it just was blowing up.
Yeah,
and like that Medal of Honor kind of paved the way. I think you know.
I love that game. I missed out on all the Final Fantasy games. Maybe one day I'll have to play one. If you were to suggest one that's like not gonna take me 100 hours to beat, like it'll be a nice, short, fun experience, which one would you suggest?
I mean, on 7 is going to be the easiest one to get into.
The new one, the because I know they made like a new one that's like more action, right?
You don't get the complete story with Remake and Rebirth.
Oh, okay.
There is, 3 discs for the original game, and you can beat it in like 40 hours.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, most games like you even play now, like you can 20, 40 hours, even like your standard beat 'em ups or whatever, depending on like if you're playing Yakuza. So yeah, I would say that. I mean, if you want to get into it, you want to kind of like get a feel of it and taste, and people are going to laugh. But like Mystic Quest was designed for U.S. audiences to experience RPGs. I mean, it's really rudimentarily basic, but it's still got a funny story. It's enjoyable to play.
That's the SNES one, right? SNES?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, you can even get the collection, right? The 1 through 6 now, and there is like options to turn on, like to lower the encounter rate or have no encounter, so you just only fight the bosses, or you can triple your experience points or get a bunch of money. So I mean, like, it makes it to where if like you want to experience like the experience of it, but not be like hardcore about it, it gives you that option to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to play one day. I'll have to. Maybe that Mystic Quest one. All right, this is the final number 1 here. I'm gonna go to my number 1 pick here.
You gotta love new WWF figures with real wrestling. Jake the Snake Roberts versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Yeah. DiBiase lands $1 million punch. Match Hulk Hogan against the Macho King Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah, my elbow smash will finish Hogan, guaranteed.
Hogan slams him again. Match Andre the Giant against the Ultimate Warrior. Andre will squash the Ultimate Maniac. WWF figures so close to the real thing, it's like being in the...
Like we mentioned earlier, Vince and Ryan, Retro Ryan, will be showcasing these figures, these Hasbro figures coming up. Well, like it already came up because it's going to come out way after. But check it out on Dad Level Podcast YouTube channel. But man, I used to love these freaking commercials. I had them. I know them by memory. If I hear one, I already know what they're gonna say, like, "Oh, Jake the Snake Roberts versus the $1 Million Man," and these were not only on TV; these were on the VHS tapes. So, like when you would rent a WWF VHS tape, that would be the first thing you would see. So, me renting all these WWF VHS tapes, it was like programmed in my head, like I knew them like the back of my hand. And I used to love playing with these toys. Like the toys that I played the most were like the WWF Hasbro figures, with the ring. And of course, when I had my little wrestling figure federation, I didn't just have Hasbros. I had the Ninja Turtles were my wrestling federation. I had like some pirates from, what was that cartoon? Pirates of the Dark Water or something?
Yep.
I had some of those guys in the federation. I had He-Man was in there, Skeletor, and man, just nostalgia. I'm sure you guys are going to talk about it coming up, but
yeah.
Any thoughts on these commercials? Do you guys remember these commercials?
Well, the fact that they had the wrestlers in the commercials is the big selling point on these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have been the same if you just had somebody like announcing it,
Well, having Jesse Ventura be the announcer for that one is pretty awesome.
Yeah. He was the first one for the Hasbros. It was like Jesse, and he has obviously like a very cool voice, commanding voice. And then after him, it was Piper, which Roddy Piper was just like, energy level was like 1,000. He was like going batshit crazy.
Yep.
And then they followed it up with Macho Man after that. Macho Man became like the spokesman, which, come on, Macho Man, you watch the Slim Jim commercials. Macho Man knows how to sell stuff.
Slim Jim, yeah.
I've got like at least 3 wrestling rings full of these vintage Hasbro figures, and you know how pricey they are.
Yeah.
So I just kind of piece them away 2, 3 at a time, but those are just really hard to. And I still don't have that Dusty Rhodes, if you will, because he's always been. I'm not saying that. I just won't do $100 on a figure, so I'll never get them. But I got all the ones that are like 50 and below.
You know,
and now some of them are even more than that that I bought back then. So,
I used to have that Dusty, and I started selling on eBay like early 2000s. I just grabbed all my I had like a bag full of Hasbros. I grabbed all the Hasbros, put them up on auction. I think they sold for $50. There was a Dusty in there. $50. All gone. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a rub at you, Ryan.
I got
the sculpt.
Yeah.
And the sculpt in the face and the hair is so accurate on him. And anytime I see him for a little bit less than like 70 or 60, the arm's always busted. Like the arm's loose, or there's always like some problem with it to get it. So it's never affordable without problems with it. That figure.
So I'm gonna play this sound effect for myself for 20 years ago. Myself. Here goes.
Pendejo. Pendejo.
I should not have. It was a whole bag. I had they were all my childhood ones. I had Dusty, Hogan, like Piper, everyone, Honky Tonk, everyone. Yep. But
dude, I did that for some of my Transformers.
It happens, right? It just happens.
Yeah.
And then we regret it. All right. Well, we went through our list now. But it is tradition around here to play a little trivia game at the end of the episode. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to see who the king of commercials is right after this commercial break. All right, you guys ready? Vince is already waving the white flag. Be right back.
My Super Golden Crisp cereal's bringing more honey to this nutritious breakfast than ever. I'm a buzz with the news.
So are we, yeah.
Hand over your honey sweet wheat, Sugar Belle.
Hand it over.
To be or not to be? How about a vitamin-packed punch? Now buzz off. I can't get enough Super Golden Crisp. It's got the crunch with punch.
And more honey.
I'm kind of upset neither one of you guys threw in old Sugar Bear as one of your top 5 commercials.
Yeah, I used to love that cereal.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed off you guys didn't pick it.
We're off the show. Thanks, guys, for having us.
This is the last time you'll be invited on here. So this is what I'm going to do. Look, I'm going to play 10 sound clips. So it's either going to be like a jingle or just a straight out commercial. Most of them are the jingles of different commercials. And when you know what it is, say got it. So don't just blurt it out. Say got it, and I'll call on you first. You only get one answer. You only get one guess, but you don't get penalized if you get it wrong. All right? Whoever gets more wins. And if you get it correct, you're gonna hear this.
They're great.
You're gonna hear Tony the Tiger, the guy I'm wearing on my hat right here. If you get it wrong, you're going to hear this.
I have diabetes.
You're going to hear Wilford Brimley saying,
I have diabetes.
He's going to give you diabetes. So, all right. You guys ready for the first one? So remember, say got it when you got it. All right.
Okay.
Number 1.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a break. Give me a break.
I think
Kit Kat.
Who was first?
I couldn't hear. I said it, and I think he said it at the same time. So,
all right. So it's a draw because I didn't catch you. So say got it. Say got it first. All right, and then let me call on you. All right. So that's a wash right there. All right, next one.
Day's looking new and bright, and you're gonna start it right. Folgers starting to brew, the aroma.
Vince, I think I see Vince first.
Isn't this the Folgers commercial?
There's one right there. Say something, Ryan. Let me make sure your thing is getting highlighted.
Hello.
Oh, you're not getting highlight. Let me see. Let's say something again.
Hey.
Okay. All right. Next one.
You might want to turn these down a little bit. They're pretty loud.
Okay. Let me put it down a little bit. All right. How's this? Let me test. Is that loud enough?
Yep. That's good. Yeah.
All right. That way I can hear you guys. All right. Next one.
Oh, I got it.
Vince.
Extra bubblegum commercial.
I have diabetes.
I gave you diabetes. That's incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
What is it?
I got it. Big Red.
Oh.
It was Big Red.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
Got it.
Ryan's got it.
Double McGum.
Low.
It was a low. Okay. All right. All right. Let me see. I might try to gauge it to see if it's too loud for me. All right.
Got it.
All right, Vince.
Meow Mix. I should have got that one.
So it's 2-2. 2-2 right now. All right, next one. So I'm gonna start low and then I'm gonna ramp it up if it sounds too low on my end.
My baloney has the first name.
Got it.
I got Vince.
Oscar Mayer.
All right. 3-2. Vince right here. All right. Next one.
Got it.
Ryan by like a frog's hair.
Yeah.
What is it?
Chili's baby back ribs.
All right, 3-3. This is a tight one here. Next one.
Hey now kids, come gather around. See what just
Got it.
Got it.
Oh, Vince by a split second.
Bop it.
Nope.
I have diabetes.
Gave you that.
Skip.
We got Ryan. Right?
I got it. Sorry.
Right.
Skip it.
Yeah.
That's funny because I sang it.
You did.
I sang it earlier. It's funny that you played that one.
It was a foreshadow. All right, so we got Ryan 4, Vince 3, and we got 2 left. Next one.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Got it.
Vince.
Toys R Us. I mean, it says
4-4. So this is for the win. This next one is for the win. You guys are tied at 4-4. Next one.
Got it.
Vince by a split second.
California Raisins.
There by it. That's it. 5-4. Vince, man, that was a close. That was a close.
It's hard to. I was like, it's hard to hear, but man, yeah. GG, Ryan.
That was a close one.
That was close, man.
Yeah, it was a little hard because of the audio and
Yeah.
But GG, guys. We're gonna take our final commercial break and wrap things up. There you go.
You know me as a stand-up guy who never backs down from a tough interview. Well, now I'm going toe-to-toe with the big burger boys with my Mean Gene Burgers. And this is your chance to order a Mean Gene t-shirt. Mean Gene's Burgers.
The burger that says, "Bite me."
Wear it to work, to a party, to your next court appearance, wherever you want to make a real fashion statement. Call the number on your screen and order yours now.
Call now to order your Mean Gene's t-shirt for just $19.95 plus shipping and handling.
Did you guys even know there was a Mean Gene's Burgers?
Or a
No.
shirt? No. But I love the whole thing. The two girls go, bite me.
Yeah, so this was there was actually one in Northern California, and I remember like in the early 2000s going up to Sacramento to visit my family, and I stopped and we saw Mean Gene's Burgers. I think it was inside like a gas station. I was like, oh, Mean Gene's Burgers, and I got I got some napkins. I kept some napkins as souvenirs. I wish I still had them, but I threw them away. Yeah, but thanks for coming on, guys. Before we get out of here, Vince from the Dad Level Podcast, tell them where to find you, what you got coming up, what you're doing on the YouTubes.
All right, so you guys can find me on YouTube at Dad Level Podcast. I will have a podcast out sometime around this time, considering this is in the future. So probably episode 130, maybe. It's a couple weeks away, right? It's at least a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
So, but let me see what else. I do stream on Thursdays. Right now, me and Ryan have been doing some beat 'em ups, and then my buddy Andrew and me have been playing Resident Evil co-op. So, yeah, come check them out.
Yeah, it's been cool watching you play those old school Resident Evil games. Brings back flashbacks. Even though I'm glad we no longer have tank control. Sorry, Ty Lord. Sorry.
With the controls that we had back then, the controllers, yes.
we made the best of it. I remember playing the hell out of Twisted Metal 2, and I played it recently. I'm like, oh man, how did we do this? I still love the game, but it was a little rough now playing it. What about you, Ryan? Let them know where they can find you.
You guys can catch me live every Tuesday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, taking your 80s, 90s game requests and playing you 80s, 90s game and toy commercial footage. And even playing you some cover songs, if you're lucky.
Yeah, some cover songs. I think we've mentioned this. Ryan used to be in a band. He has his own music. We're going to play us out with one of his tracks at the end of this episode. But before we go, I want to go to you guys. I'm going to start with Vince. Give us a piece of advice. I know last time I think you gave us a piece of advice. Give the people out there a piece of advice. Something to take them home.
We only get one shot at this. So all that fear that you have inside that holds you back from achieving your dreams, screw all that. Just go for it.
There you go. And since you're a first-timer, Retro Ryan, how about something that a piece of advice that was given to you that you want to pass down to the people out there?
I would just say, no matter what happens in your day, always try to find a way to enjoy it. Like, give yourself some treat, whether it's, because we live in a world where something's always going to go wrong, right? The guy cut you off going to work. Something in your house broke, your water heater's down, you're late on your bill, something, right? But always find a way to treat yourself with something little. Like you watch a movie that you enjoy, that makes you laugh. You play a game you love. You pick up an instrument, you write a song, translate it into that. So always find a way, no matter what you're going through that's bad, to have a good day, because life's short. Tomorrow, you don't know you got it, and live by that, because if we don't enjoy the now, that's all we got.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from both of you is shit happens. Sometimes life's unfair. Find some happiness, goddammit. Stop bitching. Is that what you guys are saying?
Don't give up on your dreams. That's basically.
All right, well, we're going to leave us with a track from Retro Ryan, Best Revenge. When did you record this one, Ryan?
So a couple years back, this is an original song. It's very like 90s grunge era, maybe 2000s too. I'm pretty proud of the guitar solo on this one too, but this is one to kind of rock out to. Hope you enjoy it.
All right, we're going to have to listen to that whole song then, so we can listen to that guitar solo. See you guys on the other side. Enjoy the track here.